I really think we're starting to just understand what AI or machine learning can do. And I think as marketers, yeah, we're playing around with it on the website. And we're starting to understand what it can do. But I think there's more to it.
Hi, I'm Mercedes Cardona, editor of Velocitize, and we are here at Velocitize Talks with Becca Hoeft, and she is the Chief Brand Officer of Sunrise Banks. And a very interesting story because if I understand it correctly, Sunrise Banks positions itself as a socially responsible financial institution, which is an interesting positioning in this environment we're in today. So is that a tall task at a time of distrust in business? And how do you get past that blockage, so to speak, in the public trust?
Sure. For Sunrise Banks, doing good has always been in our DNA. When we started in the 80s, our CEO's father actually started this bank as a social enterprise and the whole idea around doing good. So it's baked into our DNA already. But bottom line, a brand is really a vessel of meaning and trust, and it's fueled by experiences. And so when we go to market and we talk about being socially good, and when we talk about being a social engine for good, what we do is we are very careful and intentional about creating repeated positive experiences with our customers. And by that, we're creating this brand vitality.
But do all brands today need to sort of have this point of view, this purpose type to convince, what it's basically as a very skeptical consumer today? Or is it possible to still be neutral and manage to engage the public?
It's an interesting question that you're talking about, Mercedes, because I have to admit I'm a really firm believer of Patrick Hamlin's book, The Social Code. And in my opinion, millennials, Gen Zers, heck, everyone is really tired of being sold to. And so when I think about marketing, when I think about advertising, at the core of every human being is the desire to belong. And so if I try to market to a non-believer per se, or someone outside of my tribe, then it's like trying to sell vodka to someone who doesn't drink.
You spoke earlier about the experience, and
Yes.
that brings up an interesting question. Is user experience the new marketing, or are marketers still very much wedded to the idea that promotions and advertising are marketing and what they need to be doing instead of focusing on the design of the experience?
Right. And so, in my opinion, user experience, customer experience, even your employee experience has to be relevant to your brand. You have, as a marketer, you have to pay attention to it. On the flip side, advertising, promotions, whether it's your PR, whether it's media relations, all of that are still part of your marketing toolbox, along with these experiences that you're creating. Because you're creating memories, you're creating this desire to belong, you're creating, similar to what other brands have done, such as Apple or Harley, you're creating believers in your brand. And so what we've done at Sunrise has been very intentional and integrated with our marketing toolbox. So at Sunrise, marketing, or my team, owns the customer experience. We own user experience. We're working so closely with the IT department, and it becomes this integrated strategy.
Earlier we were talking about user experience, and then we were talking about data, and there's a point where they intersect in marketing, because we have often heard that marketers are frustrated because they have all this great consumer data and they're expected to use it just to buy media and put ads out. But there is so much more that marketing can do in terms of designing products, designing the user experience. Does marketing need to take a more proactive approach in that area?
Absolutely. What comes to mind right away is artificial intelligence, or AI. One of the things that we're doing later on this year is redoing our website using AI. So we're curating this very special customer experience. For example, if you log in, or not even log in, if you type in Sunrise Banks, with this AI behind the scenes, we can be able to see, all right, where's your ISP? Where are you, where are you at? What have your searches been? So if you're in St. Paul and you've been searching small business loans, we can pull up and push content to you that's relevant to you, Mercedes, and what you're interested in. So for example, we showed you a small business lender from St. Paul with her photo right there, how to contact her, and then we push stories of small business owners to you and how they got their loan, and then, a little section about how to get your loan. So it becomes a very special, curated experience for each individual instead of having this same experience for every single person.
And you mentioned AI, which is a very hot topic these days. So from where you're sitting, where do you see technology going? What's the big disruptor that you see coming in the next 3 to 5 years?
I really think we're starting to just understand what AI or machine learning can do. And I think as marketers, we're playing around with it on the website. We're starting to understand what it can do. But I think there's more to it. And then when you start to think about technology, Intel just came out with their version of Google Glass. And so if you marry something like, and this new Google Glass is supposed to have this much richer experience in and of itself beyond Google. So if you marry something like Intel's Glass with AI, like what could that look like? I'm curious.
So we have been speaking here with Becca Hoeft of Sunrise Banks, their Chief Brand Officer. Thank you very much for joining us today. And please check our interview on Velocitize.com and let us know how you feel about these topics on Velocitize on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mercedes.